Hi boys and girls. So, as artists do, I've been reading some books about the Statue of Liberty and looking closely at the pictures, and we learned a little bit on a video, which you can also learn on a video, but the books are another way to learn about it. I got these from our library, and you can see that this artist has drawn the Statue of Liberty, and that's what we're going to be doing. We're going to be doing a drawing of the Statue of Liberty and looking closely at the outline of her crown, her face, her arm, the torch, and even the book that she's wearing. Okay, so we're going to start with our piece of light green paper because she has turned light green over time. We know that from the video, that the copper, when it's exposed to the air for a long time, it oxidizes. And I found this picture. It's a photograph of her out there in the harbor, and I thought we could use it to look at to draw her. Okay, so I thought we would start with her crown, her beautiful crown, and in order to see that, for you guys to see that, I thought maybe I should have a closer up picture. So here's a really close up picture of her crown. We're going to look at that while we draw, because we're going to be doing what's called a contour drawing. We're just going to do the outline of the drawing. Okay, I think I'm going to start by doing this curved line so that I know where to put each of the spikes for her crown. So I want to leave room for her arm to be up here, so I think I'm going to start her head right here in the middle of my paper, and I want to make it probably this big so I have a little bit of room for the top of her body. So in the middle of your paper, and leave it maybe a little bit, actually I think I'm just going to do it right in the middle. I'm going to do a curved line. Everybody do a curved line. Okay, like that. Bring it down like that. And then how many spikes are on her crown? They talked about it in the video, and hopefully you remember there are 7. So I'm going to do the middle one first, and then there should be 3 on each side of that one. So I'm going to do a middle spike, and then I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, and then I'm going to do the same thing over here. 1, 2, oops, and I want this one to go out this way, 3. Now I'm probably going to have to erase the tip of that, aren't I, because it looks like her arm intersects with that. I'm not worried about that right now. Now I also see that this is thicker here, so I'm going to do an inside line. I'm going to go right along. I'm going to follow my line, go right along my line and make that kind of like a border. And then inside here, I'm going to put all these little windows, and they're the shape of a rectangle. And I think there's a window right underneath this first one, so I'm going to put my first rectangle right there. There's my first window. And then I'm just going to put windows going all the way along here. And did you notice that the windows get kind of smaller as you go? So I'm going to get them a little bit smaller each time until they get really small on the sides. And I'm going to do the same thing over here. Oops, I need to get it smaller, don't I? Because I want them to end up right here. So I'm right there. Now, it looks like her hair is right below that, so I'm just going to draw a line right across below the windows, kind of a curved line. And her hair appears to be in curls. I think there's a curl here. So I'm going to go down and up. And then this looks like a curl that kind of goes up to the middle. And then she's got another curl here. One that comes down. Okay, and then I think I'll start with the side of her face right here. So I'm going to go right here between these 2 curls, and I'm going to go down. She has a nice strong chin, doesn't she? And then I'm going to go across and then back up. And then I noticed that her eyes, I can start right here and do her eyebrow. I can go across and then just follow this line down for her nose, and then it kind of goes up and down and up and down and over. And I'm going to go back up and across like that, and I'm going to put her eyes in, which are kind of the shape of a football, aren't they? There's 1 and there's 2. She doesn't really look like she's smiling, but I noticed on her lips, I think you can see her lips better on this one. Nope, you can't. They kind of go up, down, so I'm going to go up, down, like that. and then a straight line across, and a line underneath for her mouth. Okay, then her ear is right here, and it looks like she's got long hair, so I'm going to make some long hair like that, and then a little bit more out here because it looks like her hair, there's two parts to it kind of there. Same thing on this side, ear, and then some hair. But because her arm is reaching up, I'm going to do her neck like that, and her collar, which kind of goes like this. And then this arm, you can see where the neck is. This arm's reaching way up here, so I'm going to move these aside so you guys can see it. It's reaching up right past her crown. And this is where I'm going to switch pictures because we really want to look at this one, don't we? We're going right up here, way up here, and then we're going to put her crown in. So when I look at her crown, I see, or I mean, sorry, not her crown. This is her torch. I said crown, I meant torch. This is her torch, and it's got a lot of curved lines right here. You see this one? It's almost like an oval. And then above the oval is this beautiful lacy edge. If you were able to walk around up here, which back in the olden days you could go right up here, this would be like the handrail that you'd be standing right along this rail. And then up in the very tippity top is a flame, and they light this up, don't they, at night so we can see it. And then her hand looks like this is her thumb right here. There's her thumb. And then her fingers are wrapped around. I see one finger up like this, and then I see the rest of her fingers are coming around. So they're kind of like curved ovals, aren't they, her fingers? Because she's holding on to this torch. So in order for her to hold on to it, her fingers have to grip around like that, right? Or like this. I guess she's holding it like this. And then her arm, then we're going to go back down. This is part of her hand, but then we're going to bring that torch. There's the handle of the torch. Kind of has a pointed tip, doesn't it, right there? And it has some lines in it here. Okay, maybe those actually go all the way up to her finger, so I need to make them a little bit longer. And then her arm, we're going to do her arm coming all the way back down. And then this looks like she must have had long sleeves on, so she's got her sleeves are all kind of drooping down. So I'm just going to do all these droopy lines like this, because it looks like her sleeve is kind of hanging down. And then this side, she's got some type of a dress that's draped across, so I'm just going to make it go like that. A lot of lines like that, and maybe this one going across. It even has like a little knot or something right here. And then her arm comes down. And then I thought this is kind of important, so I want to be sure and include this. As you come down, what is she holding in her arm? She's holding a book, it looks like. And on the book it says July 17th, I think. And I think this is in Roman numerals. This is the 1776 or 1786, whenever the Statue of Liberty was given to her, or given to us. So we want to put that on there correctly. I'm going to just make this come down and pause it for a minute to make sure I get the right date on there. Okay, I am back, and I'm sure glad I went and checked, because it does not say July 17th on her tablet. It actually says July 4th, but it's in Roman numerals, IV, and then 1776 is written in the lettering underneath, which would be MDCCLXXVI. Mrs. Walker went and looked that up because I wasn't sure, and I'm sure glad I did. And then I wrote it down because it's hard for me to remember all those. Okay, so there you go. If you want to copy down exactly what it says, you can. Or if you want it to be easier for us to remember, and I think I'm going to do this, I'm going to put July 4th, 1776. And do you know what's significant about July 4th, 1776? That is the day when the United States gained independence from England. Okay, so I also noticed that her fingers are curled around here, so So I'm going to put her fingers, this is her hand, and she's got her fingers going around. It's, again, if you look at your fingers, it's kind of like a curved oval when they're wrapped around something. You don't see the whole hand, you just see those fingers like that, okay? And that's really all I'm going to do. If you want to put a few more swirls in her dress, you could. But that's what we're going to do right there. And then we'll add more to this. We're going to do a cool background. And we'll be cutting this out to put onto a different background. So when you're finished, you know what I noticed is her hair goes all the way down to here. I'm going to bring that behind. Kind of reaches down further. So if you look close at her and you see there's something you need to change, just go ahead and erase that and make it the way you want it to be. Okay? There is probably also, when I look at her hair, I can see there's some lines going this way in her hair. So if you want to put some lines, oops, in her hair, there you could. Okay, and that's all I'm going to do for now. I will leave these pictures up for you to look at, though, so that you can finish drawing your Statue of Liberty. If you're not done, if you got behind, it's no big deal. Just keep drawing, okay?